well, we just got done collecting my grandpa's paper for him. We're going to work at replacing the rest of those bats, or the slats on the grain hit, or feeder house, and then we'll keep on rolling with the day. Now, I didn't want to entirely take the whole thing off. Just wanted to loosen it up, and that is what I've done. Is I've went too far with it, but I just put the nut back on to hold this. This is what I was talking about. We had to loosen the chain up because before, when we would do this, we would have to try and stick a bar in here and force this out. Then we'd have to try and jam a piece of wood back in here so that the bar didn't kick out, smack somebody in the face. But then we were like, hey, why can't we just back these nuts out, back them off, back these nuts off, and then move this rod, which is the chain tensioner. And what that does is it puts tension on a chain, okay? And that is how that works, is it's a chain tensioner. That's how that works. You screw it in the one way, you run your nuts in this way, and it draws it, pulls it back, and you can, like I just showed, loosen the nuts and pull this drum. Take the slack out of the chain just by pulling on that there, pulling it forward to loosen the tension, going backwards with it to tightening the chain. I'm not sure if we're gonna be putting a new floor in this. I believe that it's about time for a new floor because of just how wavy it is. But you can definitely tell how wavy, but I am not on the saying what needs done committee. I am on the repair and fixing committee. So I got this cover open here. Got me a step stool, milk crates work excelento for that. Get this inspection cover open up here, and I just want to look, make sure there are none that are missing, that I missed. This one here does not have an X on it, so I'm not worried about that. Got one down there. There were a couple that didn't need changed, that didn't have X's on them. So we are not going to worry about that. And that's what the heart of a combine looks like. For those of you that have never seen what the inside of the rotor looks like. So yeah, I think he was just taking a peek up in there, looking at what all needs done. So yeah. So I'm gonna take this wrench, since I'm done spinning the feeder house, and I will take the wrench upstairs and put it back where it belongs. I'm gonna leave the ladder off just because if John needs to get around both sides of that rotor, then he can do so without having to worry about the ladder being in his way. Put the keepers up here where they can be collected later, not have to fall off anywhere. And then we will move on with our day. And then right down in there is where the wrench belongs. We got to take the hydro unit out of this machine because it is leaking, and that is not good. I think the wrench went. I think it's set. Let's see, I think it's sat right like that. But this hydro unit is needing to come out of Big Bertha here, and I believe it is, well, right here. So I have to be taking that apart, the unload auger. Oh, it needs some help. Not this part, that part over there, that part there, the real shiny part. We replaced that, I believe, back in the spring of 2023. It was this part here because it is wore thin. Well, now it's time to do this part here, because you guys see the ripples in it. That is not from the dust, that is from the flighting, and the flighting when it eats away at the grain. You can see here we had to move this light one way or another. Billy Bob Goober some metal in here. Oh yeah, she's worked in right in here. Holy crud, I can feel it. So we're gonna have to be getting a new section from here up to the end. I like keeping stuff like this hardware here. I like putting the nuts back on the hardware, so that way you're not hunting around for bolts and nuts, and then you're going, well, why do I got so many extra nuts when I'm already out of bolts? Well, if you just put the nuts back on them when you would take them off, you wouldn't have that problem. Plus, you keep your stuff organized in baggies, in a bucket, a cardboard box, what have you. So you're not having stuff all scattered up here in the feeder house. And plus, if you need to move the machine for any reason, you could just put the baggies up in a cab or in a box or on a cart or wherever, instead of them jiggling off the front of the feeder house. And then when you go to put the new slats back in, you're going, well, why am I short 10 bolts and I only have 8 nuts left over? What the heck happened here? Well, you didn't put your hardware in a container to keep it all together. But to each their own. I'm just showing how we do things on the farm. Crud, I gotta take this socket set back over because it is not, I don't need it when you already have the wrench supplied on the machine to spin the feeder house. I thought I would be needing a socket, but there's that wrench upstairs. Now I know. Need to spin the feeder house manually, take that little cover loose, and then grab the wrench upstairs and spin it with that. So we're going to do some work now to this John Deere 7200. This tractor is our oldest tractor that we have on the farm. It is 19 years old. Okay. So we're going to give it some love and care. That backlight is out, burned out. I need to take that green tape off of well, I gotta get some lights going in here. I can't see what I'm doing without light. That one's on. I need to turn, oh, that one I think I'm gonna turn it on because, well, not that we'd work back here when we got tractors in here, but you can definitely tell it shines clear over on the 7200. Why we have this one here, it does not do any good hardly, but it lights the bolt bin area up so you can see what incarnations you're doing. We put that up about a couple months or so ago, and I would really like to take them out, which I'm going to. This one can stay there because it lights this area up over here. So, yeah, we need to do some work to this John Deere 7200. The engine oil has been done. Records have been kept. I believe Dad might want to try and buff the paint or wax it, because that's what you do with your 19-year-old equipment, is you just give it some love and care. So there you see it, 12/20 of 2005. There's all the information for those of you that need a cab air vent for the interior. 770 60. So, yeah, a tractor came to us with, what was it, 1,815 hours, and now it has 6,510 hours. You see today's date, or 2 days ago when we serviced, yesterday when we serviced it. Today is November the 15th. You can see we've written on the board 7,200 lights, and we need a 3-point knob for back here because, well, we don't use these 3-point arms, but it is nice once in a while to pull the knob up. It releases a latch in there, pull these arms out. It is nice to oil them when you're servicing the tractor and all that, grease everything. Not that we have anything that uses a 3-point. Well, the bale spear and that ripper, but we don't use the 3-point arms other than for on that 6120 and that 8300 John Deere. Now, I know what you guys are probably thinking. You probably should take them off if you're not going to use them. Well, why take them off just to put them back on if you ever need them? They are a nice way to hang your chains. You just wrap your chains around them. If you have to pull a stuck piece of equipment out, you can put a shackle here, run the chain through here, up here, and around, and it'll hold your chain until you get to where you need to go to pull a stuck piece of equipment out. Now, the reason for this, I'm surprised nobody has caught why we have this here. I'm surprised nobody's noticed it. And this is how to tie your hydraulic hoses up so they do not get pinched, cut, or tore. The reason for these tarp straps is because they help keep the 3-point arms from smacking the tires, and then it'll wear these lugs off every time when these arms go to hit the tire. That is why we put the tarp straps here. One does not do it justice, so we had to put two on. It's little things like that that help save your tires from the 3-point arms smacking the tires. So let's get the cab filter and the air filter, shall we? One thing too I started doing is I wrote what size the drain plug is. 1.25" socket on John Deere 7200. Just little stuff like that can save you a whole headache and wasted time of monkeying around with sockets, trying to figure out what socket fits the drain plug, when you can just look in the book and see, oh, 1.25" socket. Okay. Well, we're going to let this combine alone. I changed them. I took all the old slats off. We need to take the combine across the road because that shop is taller over there. I think it has 18-foot ceilings in it. Whereas I think this one has, oh, let's see. Would be 10, 11, I'm going to say probably 11-foot ceilings. No, I'm 5'7", so 9, 10, maybe 12-foot ceilings. Anyhow, we're going to have to take it over across the road so when John comes over, he can use his crane to lift the hydro out, because we don't have enough headroom in here to do anything like that. Yes, we have that crane there, but you can't get the machine far enough. You would be making another garage door out the back of the shop before you would get to where you would need to go, and it wouldn't do you any justice to spin the machine around and back it in, because you would again make a secondary garage door with that unload auger before you would get to where you would need to be. Oh, what we got going here? John Deere cab, them are for the 2 Deeres. What is that? Okay. Then got... Oh, that one's not marked accordingly to what tractor. It just says John Deere cab. Heh. John Deere cab, 7800, 7810, 7800 inner engine, 2 filters. Huh. Well. Well, that sucks. There's no cab filter up there. There's combine, 7800, 7810 filters, Dodge pickup, 4020, 7200 engine filters, John Deere skid loader, 4020, but there's no 7200 cab filter. The one I'm talking about goes up underneath the cab for the air conditioner, but we don't have it. You can't change a filter you don't have, and it goes right there. Or wait a minute. Maybe that number's for cab, the interior cab filters behind the seat. Maybe. I'm gonna take that inner one out and the one up under the cab and see if that's got a number on it. Let's see. Replaced the... Oh my goodness, what the heck? Replaced the swing nut. The way we used to take it off was a pain in the butt. It involved a pair of vice grips. Because back, what? Probably 10 years or so ago, we ended up losing this the swing nut. It broke, and we had just put a couple nuts up in it. Oh, wait a minute. No, it wasn't this one. It's this godforsaken thing that you have to use a vice grips on to get this filter out. Why they just didn't stay with the wing nuts like what's on this. You see there? There's a wing nut. Why they just didn't keep it like that, I don't know. This is a really stupid idea, in my opinion. But nobody likes my opinions. Okay? Those of you that are curious what light I'm using, it's a Night Buddy. I will throw a link down here in the bottom of the videography, or in the bottom of this description here in the video. To what, to this Night Buddy from Amazon. Had a bit of an accident yesterday. Was nobody's fault but the cows. When we always work cows, we slide this door this away here, and we take this gate just like such, and we open it just enough to where the cows can get out, and somebody normally stands here, fills the gap like such. Well, we use this area here to crowd the cows to work them into the tub. The cows thought they could go through 3 at a time, 2 at a time through here. Splitting this door in half. It is junk now. We want to get a door cut in there, so that way we don't have to screw around doing it this way anymore, and getting people hurt and things like that. But we could just keep that gate closed permanently, and you keep this gate shut, have a door somewheres in here, and be able to move the cows straight that way. But it is what it is. So this is a tent that that we used when my sister and I were in 4-H. It is a 10 by 10. You had to have a 10 by 10 tent over your grooming chute, fitting area. That's just how it was. Okay, it's in here. We're letting it dry out. We used it yesterday when we did pregnancy checks on our cows. They are right around the 4 to 5 months. There's a few that are 3 months away. And that's just how it's going to go. Letting the tent in here to dry out. I was going to sneak in here and grab me a bale to bed with, but we got the tent in here drying out. So, yeah, we'll have to get the bales out of this side for right now. One bale. Perfect. So we got the cab filter back in. I didn't record anything because, well, I was, in my father's eyes, basically, he was saying that I made things too damn difficult. Well, such is life, you know. Whatever. It is what it is. Crescent wrench, and he had it loosened within 10 seconds. But whatever. Gotta say, monitor bar, the John Deere 7800. They didn't give us any instructions on how this is supposed to go. These are the gas shocks for John Deere 8300 for the rear window, because the rear window does not stay open. Got that 8300 in the shop. Put the gas shocks on the back end of it. Get that 7800 started. Pull it in the shop. Put this away. Life will be good. She's a little cold. We got ourselves a new addition to this tractor. A new addition. After it sits outside and warms up for a little bit. That 8300's a tight bird. You can see just on the floor how tight it was getting it in here. So I'm gonna take this 8300 over and put it away. We cannot get the lights to work on that display. Not sure what is going on with that, but we can't get them to work, so it's probably a bulb that's burned out in it or something. But yeah. Come on. All you gotta do is just listen to the engine and it'll tell you just what it needs. We don't really work in the dark all that much, so it's okay. One thing I gotta get used to with a full power shift is like finding happy medium in between gears. It's like it almost needs a half a gear, like at 6120. But it is what it is. Just about to see if this thing will fit in its new home. I hope it does. If it don't, we'll have to go back to the drawing board. Brought the 8300 over, put it over here, moved a wagon or two around. Time to clean the lawnmowers up, put them on the other side of the 8300. Got the big 7800 in here. Got to take a speaker out. This is the bar. That goes, I guess, over top of the controls and all that hoopla stuff. Oh. we gotta get this speaker out of here so that the bar can utilize, I believe it is one. Oh, well, help if you went the right way. Dang. Then all you do, take the nut out. I had to put a crud ton of washers on this thing. Okay. Got the speaker out. It's for the CB when we had it set up as the grain cart tractor, but that's going to be its big brother, the 7810. And this is going to get on something different, if you guys can figure it out. Any guesses? Well, there. I can spell for all of you that don't think that I can. Well, quite unfortunate. I have no clue how that happened. It's always something. The rim? I am really surprised that it ain't bent. Whatever. Whatever cut this or ran into it, I don't know what that would be from. I really don't, because it's not, you know, punctured, and the rim is still intact. I can't believe that. I don't know. I just knew there was a reason why the Lord gave me awesome ears to hear. I knew it.